don't know.
All right, here we go. Straight politicking on all you suckers. I'm here with Munchie B, the mayor, and Spider Loc, the most easty, and we're here to bring you another banger. What's going on, fellas?
Jeter, gratitude to the attitude as usual.
And you know, Munchie just came back from an international trip. How'd that go?
Oh shit, I enjoyed myself.
Swimming with the sharks, huh?
Oh no, see that caption. I left the pretty waters and I'm back in LA where you know what I'm saying, swimming with the sharks. But I enjoyed myself. Got out of my element. You know what I'm saying? I could walk around with no shirt on and ain't nobody trying to read my tattoos. Just comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At peace.
Right.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I saw Spider on. Hey, I think you and ODM is a cool little duo over there.
Good looking, man.
What kind of episode was that y'all was
We're
shooting?
going to try to do a live series called Bluetooth.
Was that at his spot?
No, that's in the black box, but we did it on his channel.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it on his channel.
It looked like he was
driving.
Yeah, he was driving the ship.
Yeah,
Huh?
he was driving, bro.
Bluetooth.
But that was at the black box.
I was at the black box.
Okay.
He knows how to do all this shit.
Yeah.
I usually, when I'm there alone, go live off my phone. So when Scrap was leaving, he had to shake. So I'm like, "You want to do a live?" He like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, we gonna go off the phone." And they go, "This shit." Like, "Man, fuck that." I said, "Bro, I don't fuck with all this shit, man. He gotta go." He's like, "Man, I know how to do. I could do." And then him and Scrap, they went through it real quick, and then shit, that know how to do some shit. Shout out to Odium Slim.
But you did ask him about why is it vertical, and I kind of agreed that the vertical, doing a vertical video, I don't think there's any benefit to the content.
I haven't become educated enough to know what the possible benefit is. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, you only do vertical for a vertical platform. Instagram is vertical, TikTok's vertical, YouTube is horizontal.
You told me that.
Y'all was on YouTube
Right, so
doing a vertical.
yeah, so maybe he, I don't know, but that's I didn't like that little small space, but outside of that, he ran that motherfucker smoothly.
No, it came out good.
yeah.
That was a good conversation.
We're gonna do that either twice a week, 3 times a week, but it's gonna be our live sessions. We're just gonna call it Bluetooth.
That was a 3-hour live, which I listened to about a half of it, about an hour and a half, and it was smooth.
Good looking, bro. Appreciate you. You gotta come through and fuck with us once we get it up and moving it with some rhythm.
Man, I haven't been on camera outside of Straight Politicking in probably, I don't know, on a YouTube platform in at least 2 years.
I know I'm interested in interviewing you as well because you are a great interview. So I'm being patient. I'm humble, but I want to interview you as well, Alex.
The last time I did an interview, it's mostly network related. I think the Nipsey Hussle documentary,
Oh yeah, I've seen you on that.
that one came out pretty good. I got some funny stories with that. I don't know if I should divulge that shit. Should I? Should I divulge that story?
I think we probably should huddle first. I mean, shit.
I don't really care.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Bro was a little rude and disrespectful to me in court one day. I don't know why he was, but we talking about Cowboy,
I know why.
Herman,
a.k.a. Lil Kev.
mad at me.
And I don't know if I ever told the story, but he came up to me inside the courtroom and said that you mess with Spider? Oh man, F that, man. I can't mess with you no more. And this is after him and we sat down and had lunch in the cafeteria.
Wow.
I chopped it up with him and his homegirl. You know, this was a trial that was a couple weeks long. So I got to know him during these days. But I guess one day he realized that you and I was doing our thing, and he just went off on me.
Yeah, he pressed Alex, man.
So what was his issue with you to make him be upset with me?
Well, what took place was when he first took the stand, that's when I was in the midst of like nicknaming people and reacting to shit. So when
Thunder Rat is crazy.
I was calling him Thunder Rat, and it made a big splash. And I just think he more so was irritated by my voice out of the crowd of people that was talking bad about it.
That's what it was. You spoke about it on Facts Over Films with one of your guests.
Probably.
That's what it
shout out
was.
my cousin, Big Ron came through, and I had really was eager to get his perspective on somebody that sat on the stand for a murder trial and how they would be received if they had to ever go back to a yard.
I don't recall what Ron said.
He kept it a Google.
Okay.
Yeah, he just kept it a Google, and I remember that's the only time I've ever turned my camera on and recorded a question when we do a podcast. Remember, that was the first, because I couldn't wait to go back and post that.
Yeah.
So he was really irritated by that.
Did that interview coincide with the Eric Holder trial? Because it was during the trial that Cowboy came up to me in the courtroom during the break.
Maybe that wasn't what it was. I think, no. So then the Ron incident was probably after all that. I think I was just on the black box talking my shit, and he just was, I was clowning heavy hard.
Yeah, he just came up to me and said, "You mess with Spider?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh man, I can't mess with you no more. You need to." He also said that you need to move 60 feet away from me.
Give me 60 feet.
Yeah, give me 60 feet.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Now, as you look at your Rolodex and your network of people that do with you, did you have you feel any loss? You feel bad at all?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
I didn't feel bad then. I don't feel bad now. That's just, that's part of life.
That's right.
I was actually trying to be cool with him. I was going to go visit him in his shop. He was talking about he was doing a podcast at his new spot, which was in downtown. I was going to mess with him.
Right.
But then that day he just went off.
I had absolutely no personal problem with Cowboy. Never met him. I was just reacting to viral topics that were relative to our community, and he happened to be that at the moment.
But bro, you notorious for these nicknames, and anytime you personalize and get somebody a nickname, it is personal.
No, I said I didn't have a personal problem.
But look,
I enjoyed giving him the nickname, but I didn't have a personal, problem with him as an individual. He may have had one with me.
You came up with that nickname?
Yes.
He notorious for it. He called the dude Hassandra Campbell.
Hassandra. But the reason why I brought up Cowboy is because the documentary on Tubi about Nipsey Hussle and the Eric Holder trial, they wanted to holler at Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the production and the whole team there, I said, if you guys are going to deal with Cowboy on this documentary, interview him, whatever you're going to do, I'm going to sit this one out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not interested in collabing on a project that he's collabing on. He was very disrespectful to me in a courtroom. I was dressed up in a suit and tie. I think he looked at me as a vulnerable person that he can push. And, he's lucky that we was inside a courtroom when he talked to me like that. I understand that his skinny self can chuck him, but I'm not concerned about that at all. So I told the production team I have no interest in being involved in this at all. And they was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not interested. Go work with Cowboy on this, and more power to you."
I remember this.
They called me back like less than a week later. They said, "We're not going to be working with Cowboy. He's asking for too much money. You know how brothers are. They be asking for a ridiculous amount of money, thinking that they can get that bag."
Situation, yeah.
And unfortunately, in reality, these production companies aren't working with big budgets. So you got to know what to ask so that you can secure that amount of money.
Right.
You can't go in there saying, interviewing me is worth $75,000 or something ridiculous. I'm not saying that's what Cowboy said.
Right.
But I know he said something that was way beyond what they was willing to do.
Right.
He should have been like, "What's your budget?"
Yeah, that's how you usually,
Yeah.
or allow someone to
broker the deal.
There you go.
But check this out. When they hit me back and said, "We're not working with Cowboy, we want to work with you, Alex Alonso," I said, I need that part in writing too.
He sure did.
I need that part in writing. We're going to have to rewrite this agreement we got because I don't want to get blindsided at the end. You guys change your mind, or he brought his price down and you guys wanted that.
Right.
So they did that for me, and I kind of like the way the final product came out.
It's not out yet.
No, it was the one.
Oh, the one we saw. Yeah, that was the one.
It's the one that got John McKinney. That's the one where John McKinney said, our most important witness
was Cowboy.
Yeah.
He said we wouldn't have had no case without Cowboy.
Yeah, so, and then we had Cedric Washington was the detective.
Yeah.
They tapped in with what is it called? Butter Vision was a dude that was hanging out with Nipsey before Nipsey was even from 6-0.
Yeah.
Who was he?
He had all this footage of Nipsey when he was like 16.
Throwing that footage. Him
is that right?
Throwing Daddy-O, yeah.
I forget his name, but he's Butter Vision.
It's crazy.
They interviewed him. It came out good. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a free documentary on Tubi called Behind the Crime, Nipsey Hussle. So, all right, man, I wanted to tap in with some of these Diddy topics, man. We've been talking about the bail hearing.
It's hard not to talk about Diddy.
Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, it's a nice legal matter that overlaps with hip hop. So how can we not talk about it?
Exactly.
Him getting bail. That's a hot topic when it comes to Diddy right now. He had 2 bail hearings. He was denied. He's got a 3rd hearing coming up. Now, he had a hearing last week. That wasn't a bail hearing.
Okay.
The bail hearing is going to go to another judge, to another court, and they're going to bring up all these issues that you brought up on the last 2 episodes, because you felt that they were denying him bail because of legitimate claims that he might be intimidating witnesses, right?
I didn't really go. Well, I think they believe they're legitimate.
Yeah.
And I believe that those are the reasons why they, amongst others perhaps, that they are fearful of him being released.
And I said that they have to prove that. And thus far, all it is just an allegation.
True.
They haven't brought in any evidence that he's actually done something that would warrant denying bail.
I mean, well, he has contacted some witnesses, correct?
One of the witnesses got contacted 14 times.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one of the witnesses contacted him and let him know that there was a witness or about to be a witness in the grand jury.
But some of these contacts were in the context of the civil case, not the criminal case.
Right.
So that's a little different.
Well, so we have recordings of the conversations?
No. We don't have
So
recordings.
that's just the claim of the defense.
That's I don't think that's a claim that's disputed, because all those contacts occurred during the civil case, when the civil case was going on.
He hadn't been arrested yet.
Yeah, he hasn't been arrested. Of course, since he's been arrested, he hasn't contacted anybody.
They said when that witness reached out to him and let whoever that is, he or she, let him know that they a witness in the grand jury, he stopped contacting witnesses, period, after that.
Was it post-raid, the contact?
I think some of them were pre and post. Yeah. But I want to tap in with a criminal defense attorney down in San Diego named Jamahl Kersey. And let's see if we can get him on the phone so he could maybe clarify some of the issues here. Because I believe that, and you can start giving Jamahl a call. And while he's calling Jamahl Kersey, criminal defense attorney down in San Diego, I'm going to just say I believe at some point he's going to get granted bail. But we'll see what our defense attorney believes.
Hello, Alex.
Jamahl Kersey.
What's going on, man?
Alex Alonso here. I'm recording an episode of Straight Politicking with my 2 co-hosts, Spider Loc and Munchie B, and we are talking about the P. Diddy bail situation. And I was wondering if you was keeping up with the whole Diddy case, specifically as it relates to bail.
Yeah. We've been on top of it, just kind of watching some of this stuff as it rolls out in the media. Obviously, the U.S. attorney kind of set forth their case in the media, letting everybody know what it is that they've investigated so far, and they're continuing to investigate. But as it relates to bail, we've been on top of that as well. It looks like he's now appealing before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals to try and see if he can have better luck than he's had in front of the magistrate judge and in front of the district court judge.
Now, can you explain to us why he was denied in his first bail hearing and his second bail hearing? What were the reasons that the 2 different judges, I believe, denied him bail during those 2 hearings?
That's correct. I think, you have to start with what a judge is looking at when we're talking about bail, right? And it's not just in this type of case that he's facing. It's the same thing whether we're talking about a federal case or a state case. The 2 primary things that the judge is looking at is, number 1, danger to the public, including danger to any alleged victims and danger to any potential witnesses, and then flight risk, right? And so the combination of a person's criminal history or lack thereof, their ties to the community, the seriousness of the allegations and charges, because unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, a lot of times for our clients, it's unfortunate that the judge has to accept as true the allegations that are put forth by the prosecutor. And so that can oftentimes be, you want to let your client know that beforehand, right? Because it can make for a very awkward and uncomfortable situation when the prosecutor is rattling off basically the facts of their case, which are coming from the witness interviews. The police or federal agents in this case are going to have interviewed all their witnesses and collected evidence. And so the argument from the prosecutor is going to be a summary of all that, which is obviously going to be the basis of their case. And and the judge has to take that as true, right? And so a lot of times, the facts of the case are going to be contested by the person who's accused, right? A case can be based on misidentification. It can be based on lies. It can be based on a misinterpretation of what ended up happening, right? But unfortunately, with that standard in place, so the judge has to take as true the allegations set forth by the prosecution. That's a difficult burden to ultimately overcome. And in this case, it's been shown that these judges took that Puff would basically be a safety risk, right? So the courts are always going to be concerned with, all right, if I let you out on bail, am I putting the public safety at risk, right? It was that, in addition to the concern about witness tampering, right? So the prosecution alleged that he was repeatedly contacting alleged victims and witnesses in this case, basically in the months prior to him ultimately being arrested. And there was one in particular that I think was the most concerning, because he had reached out numerous times. It looked like over 100 times, him reaching out and saying, "Hey, I just want to offer my continued friendship and support," right? And that he would continue to pay her rent, if she played ball, right? And so, when it comes to witness tampering, which is basically trying to improperly influence or change or even prevent testimony from happening, and you could say he went about it in a very subtle way, not outright saying, "Yo, don't come to court," or don't testify against me, but and his lawyers, they're obviously advocating for their client, just saying, "Hey, these are people that he had a relationship," and he was just reaching out, letting them know that, "Hey, my lawyer might be reaching out to you," and that is oftentimes something that will happen. When you're investigating a case, and somebody has a relationship, it can be a little intimidating to have just out of nowhere some private investigator reaching out to them. So sometimes your client might reach out like, "Hey, I might need you as a character witness. My investigator or my lawyers, my legal team might be reaching out to you. Just want to give you a heads up." And that's how they basically spun this. But you shouldn't need, right? You shouldn't need over 100 phone calls and a massive string of text messages to accomplish that. So that's obviously going to be the prosecution's pushback here. But it's a difficult situation, because it now being in front of an appellate judge, and basically to answer that question, yes, his bail was before a magistrate judge, which is always going to be the initial judge that your that bail is going to be decided on, and then if it doesn't go your way, then you get that sort of second bite at the apple, putting it in front of the district judge, who's going to be the judge that presides over the motion hearings and the trials and everything. But basically on the same basis, the judge is denied, and it was somewhat surprising, right? I mean, you could see why they would rule it that way, but at the same time, and what the defense has tried to really harp on, is the fact that this is a man with no criminal history, right? He has no criminal history. He had voluntarily went to New York to surrender himself, right? So federal agents didn't have to go around and looking for him, and I think even stronger is the position we knew around the time that those raids were happening, that Puff was actually out of the country, right? So if he were inclined to not show up to court and was not taking this process seriously, then he certainly could have stayed where he was at, right?
Okay, I want to ask you about the witness tampering. Wasn't all of those contacts made in the context of what he was going through civilly at that time? The criminal case hadn't been unsealed at that point, and does a judge or the court look at that a little bit different?
Well, I think that's the argument that could be made, right? I mean, there's a number of reasons why he could have been reaching out. There could have been the possibility of settlements, in terms of reaching out to these individuals, and letting them know that, hey, my legal team will be reaching out. If civil lawsuits had already been filed, because I just don't know all the people that he's alleged to have reached out to, but if these people weren't yet represented by counsel, or even if they were, I mean, a lawyer is not supposed to talk to somebody directly who's represented by counsel, but that doesn't exactly block him from doing so. I mean, the lawyer would probably advise their client not to reach out to somebody if there's pending litigation. You need to let the lawyers handle that. But there are a number of different reasons, and again, these are all people with whom he had a relationship, right? So these communications didn't necessarily have to be him, seeking to intimidate them out of testifying or influencing their testimony. And that's exactly what his defense is arguing, that there's no evidence whatsoever of him seeking to intimidate these people or trying to unduly influence their testimony. And that is an issue of fact for for the courts to decide. So obviously there's going to be both sides making their argument. Obviously the prosecution saying that it was witness tampering, and the defense saying that that there was nothing nefarious about his contact with any of these individuals.
Now, at this third bail hearing at the appellate court, does the prosecution have to prove to the judge of the intimidation? Because you said earlier that they could just make the allegations and the judge has to accept that as fact. Wouldn't they have to at least bring some evidence and proof of this intimidation, or they can just merely say he's intimidating and that's it?
So at the appellate court level, I believe that they're just reviewing the underlying decision. So there's not going to be new testimony and presentation of evidence. Typically, you're making your arguments based on the record that was already received by the magistrate judge and the district court judge. So the appellate court is just reviewing to see whether there was substantial error on the part of the magistrate and or the district court judge. So I think that what has already been submitted to the court will be the only evidence that that is accepted. So both sides are able to argue their positions in terms of what the what the evidence means. But to your point, in terms of what the lower judges would have been considering, the allegations set forth by the prosecution, unfortunately, are accepted as true. If the defense has in some sort of argument, which it sounds like they made, that these communications were, that there was nothing nefarious or nothing suspicious or anything like that about these communications, then it'll ultimately be the appellate court reviewing what the magistrate and district court judges ruled on, and then saying, okay, well, did you guys commit some sort of error in assuming as true that this witness tampering had actually occurred, or that you ultimately found that Mr. Combs would be a danger to the community or to the public at large if he were released. So they're reviewing the magistrate and the district court judges for a substantial error versus now accepting brand new evidence and the like.
So in your experience, how is this going to end up in this third hearing? Because he's not charged with murder. He's not charged with a capital offense. The charges that he's facing are normally you get bail on these types of charges. How do you see this playing out in this third hearing? And is this third hearing will be the final hearing regarding bail?
Right. And so it's, it's a difficult uphill battle, right? So if we're looking at a balance of the scales, it's definitely tipping in favor of the prosecution and keeping him detained throughout the rest of this trial or throughout the rest of these proceedings until he has his trial.
Isn't that a violation? Wouldn't that be a violation of his constitutional right, though, to get bail?
Yeah, and so that's definitely part of the argument that will be made by the defense, because liberty is supposed to be the norm, right? Liberty is the norm. He enjoys the presumption of innocence. He is absolutely innocent unless and until he is proved guilty or he admits guilt. And to the contrary, his attorneys have come out and said that he's innocent, and it's not even just that. Sometimes, and this is where the subtleties of language need to be paid attention to, his lawyers aren't saying, well, our client is presumed innocent. He enjoys the presumption of innocence. No, they're coming out and saying that he is innocent, that he has done nothing wrong in this situation. It appears that the defense is surrounded around basically that everything that went on is consensual, right? And you may not agree with Puff and his crew's lifestyle, right? It may not be something that us church folk would support, right? But there's nothing illegal from their perspective. There's nothing illegal about having these type of parties and drugs being involved, alcohol being involved. And just this mix of sex. We've heard the word freak off I don't know how many times, but there's nothing illegal about this, and everybody was a willing participant, right? And as you see, I mean, there are certainly going to be, and as we move forward there, and I'll get to the answer to that question, but we have to think about it from the defense's perspective. There will certainly be witnesses who will say that everybody who participated in these acts wanted to be there. He didn't have to force anybody to be there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Puff, right? It's Puff. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be part of the defense. Why would a man like Puff need to force anybody to be a part of this? Like, who wouldn't be down to come through and party with the crew and do our thing? And that's what their defense is surrounded around. And so when we look at the standard, which is generally that, liberty is supposed to be the primary standard, and being detained is not supposed to be a function of a pre-imposed penalty, right? It's only supposed to go to those concerns that we discussed earlier. And so with them putting together that package, the judge, they're supposed to find, if they can find that there's less restrictive conditions or combination of conditions that will, that support protecting the public and making sure that he's there, the defense is going to say that, yes, this is a violation of our constitution, our client's constitutional rights. We've committed to putting up $50 million, and all these other conditions that certainly would be enough to address the court's concerns and for them to continue to hold in custody a man with no criminal histories. For them to continue to hold him in custody like this is absolutely a violation of his constitutional rights.
Wow, that's crazy. I want to give my co-hosts an opportunity to ask you any questions if they have any. Munchie B or Spider Loc. We got criminal defense attorney Jamahl Kersey from San Diego.
How's it going, Jamahl?
All is well. I'm blessed, brother. How you?
I'm good. Okay, so you knocked out two of my questions because I was gonna ask how common is it, but before they set a bail, you come with a bail package, but you answered that because Young Thug did the same thing. I never heard of that, and then they already presumed that the prosecution is coming with the truth versus like the burden of proof is on the prosecution. So it seemed like it's the opposite in this case. And then I wonder, why did he have to offer his kids passports being coughed up because of his case? Why?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, what I was going to say is it's not really common to have this level of a bail package put together, right? We've heard about it recently because of Young Thug's case. I mean, he had Kevin Lyles, testify, right? Obviously, he has I think it's 300 Entertainment. That's a big wig to have come through and testify at your bail hearing, right? And then had a private security detail come in and testify, and trust me, that would not be cheap, right? To have 24/7 round the clock security detail at your house to make sure that nobody comes in and that he doesn't leave and the like. And so obviously these are two gentlemen that have substantial resources, and you're really going to do everything that you can. You're going to do everything that you can, leveraging your resources to to try and appease the judge, to try and convince the judge, hey, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm definitely willing to participate in this process. I have no criminal history. I'm going to show up to court. I'm not going to intimidate any witnesses. I'm not going to, I'm not going to harm anybody. So really they threw everything that they could at it. But unfortunately, just, and again, the allegations are serious. And one thing that I hadn't mentioned is the court also takes into consideration the amount of time that a person is potentially facing. And so the prosecution hasn't exactly come out and said what his exposure is, but just, based on the nature of the charges and everything, he's probably facing, decades in prison, right? And so for him at 54, I believe, if he's doing 20 plus years, 30 years, that's essentially a life sentence.
Yeah, that's a life sentence for sure.
That's difficult to overcome.
Okay, and then they say witness tampering and witness intimidation. What's the difference? Is it a difference?
Well, I mean, you could tamper without intimidating, right? So that would be the difference. I think witness intimidation could probably fall under the umbrella of witness tampering, right? Because, in this situation, he was saying, hey, I'm just, at least this is what the allegation from the prosecution is. I'm just looking for your ongoing friendship and support, right? Just you continue to keep it cool with me, I'll keep it cool with you, right? I'll continue to pay your rent, right? So there's nothing really intimidating about that. On the contrary, that's a nice little setup, right?
That's like subtle intimidation, right?
Yeah. Well, not really,
it's not
right?
intimidation at all.
You just continue to help me out, and I'll keep paying your rent. Like, there's nothing really intimidating about that. That's a nice little, hustle for somebody if they're down to do that, right? Okay, well, I got you. I'm either not gonna, work with the law enforcement, or I'll say whatever it is that you want me to say. You keep paying my rent. So, but on the other side, there has been allegations in terms of actual intimidation. And so, that's where, you have certain things in your past that get dug up, right? We had that whole thing with, with Kid Cudi and blowing up his car. Actually that's part of the allegations in the indictment, right? All the collective things that you've been engaged in, whether it's actually part of the charges or not, they take all that into consideration, and you certainly don't garner any favor in front of a judge when you have part of your allegations that you blew up somebody's car because they were trying to date your girl, right? So it's a difficult. It's definitely a difficult situation for Puff on the issue of bail.
All right, Spider, you got any questions?
Yeah, how you doing, Jamahl?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm blessed, brother. I got two questions too. You guys keep bringing up the young trial case as a comparison on the bail situation, and I'm not sure of your knowledge of the R. Kelly situation, but I wanted to ask you: is Diddy's situation more like R. Kelly's, or is it more like Young Thug's? And if you recall, did R. Kelly receive bail at this juncture in his case? And my other question was, I forgot about the car, but I wanted to ask you if you thought that the Cassie video is perhaps prejudicing the judge against bail.
Yeah, man, this Spider Loc?
Yes, sir. What it do, Brody?
Oh man, that's a trip, man. All right.
My nigga.
No, man, I was just listening to the which mixtape was it? I was just listening to the G Unit Back to Business mixtape.
Okay, that's hard.
That's amazing. You got a criminal defense attorney tapping in with some Spider Loc music, huh?
That's hard.
Hey man, I'm hip hop to my core, man.
That's
but
right.
Yeah, man. Yo, that's dope. That's cool. No, so when it comes to the R. Kelly situation, we definitely have, and to your point, that's a good question. It's definitely closer to the R. Kelly case than it is to the Young Thug case. In that we have the allegations of a prominent music figure having a legitimate business, and actually, I mean, I guess on that note, Young Thug, same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Young stoner life versus young fine life, and having a record label. And hey, we're not gangsters. We have a legitimate record label. We sell, millions of records. This is a multi-million-dollar business. We employ a lot of people. This is completely legit, which is what Kevin Lau's testimony was. Like what are we even talking about here? Young Thug is an artist, right? He doesn't have anything to do with, obviously he comes from an environment, but he's since left that life, and he doesn't have anything to do with this. And so, but because it's of a sexual nature, right? When we're talking about people being forced to do things that they didn't want to do, then that's where it becomes more, parallel and analogous to R. Kelly's situation, where they're alleged to have leveraged those that power, right? That enterprise, that business structure, and yes, these are record labels and executives, but being able to use that in order to coordinate travel, in order to coordinate lodging, in order to coordinate the recruitment, in order to coordinate payments or all these different type of things, just things that would be beyond the scope of one individual's ability to do while you're doing all your legal biz. And so yeah, I mean that would end up being the same reason why they're saying, nah, like we can't let you out, because even if you're saying that you wouldn't do things yourself, you've proven to have so many connections and a willingness to leverage those connections, even leveraging people who are well-to-do folks, whether they're folks from the marketing department or the accounting team or your logistics team. You're willing to use all these people to do your bidding. So now we can't trust you on any level to get out and do right. So you got to stay in. So yeah, it's definitely difficult, and I know like it's hard for people to kind of wrap their mind around, and especially with R. Kelly, they were like, man, this was one dude doing all this stuff. How is he an enterprise, or how is this Rico? And it's at the end of the day, Rico, there's a long list of things that are considered basically organized crime and and committing certain violations that would end up falling under RICO, whether it's money laundering, whether it's drug trafficking, sex trafficking, prostitution, illegal gambling, all these different type of things. And while neither of these situations would be your traditional, you think of the mob because that's what, that's the reason for which it was created. And that's where people's minds go. But, they've been able to creatively sort of shoehorn these situations into being a RICO, and technically on paper, they've got enough to prove that. And to your other question about that video, yeah, I mean both. I would say both, probably in the courts and in the court of public opinion. That's so powerful, and I certainly don't want to minimize what that situation was, but domestic violence cases are what our firm primarily handles, and it kind of is a run-of-the-mill domestic violence case. It's certainly not the again, you kind of have to tread these waters carefully and with all due respect. But it's not the crime of the century. It just happened to be caught on tape, whereas most domestic violence situations are not, right? And so there are a couple ways that this has affected the defense's credibility, in that when Cassie had come out with these allegations, there was a lot of talk, I think, both from Puff and his legal team and his camp, that, oh man, this is just a money grab. This is BS. Justice is going to be served. The truth is going to come out to light. None of this stuff happened. And then boom, that video drops. And now you gotta backpedal, and now you're doing the most ill-advised thing in the world, which was sit up in that BS apology video. You just out here looking crazy. Yeah. No, there's no lawyer on this planet that would be like, yo, Puff, that's a good idea. Right. But and my homie has obviously been asking me like, yo, could you take on a case like this? And I just think like, from what I see, he might not be the easiest person to work with. And when you have somebody that powerful, right? Because we've seen at all kinds of different turns where you have steps and actions taken that no attorney would ever advise you to do, right? But when you're sitting on $1 billion, and that may not, that's obviously not liquid cash, but when you're sitting on $1 billion net worth and you're at that level, and we've seen some of the videos, right? Like, I'm a savage, right?
It's so damning now.
When you're at that level, it can be there's only a handful of people that have your ear, and attorneys, for all their education and experience, may not be amongst that group of people, right? And so, but what that video did was, obviously it's disgusting, that it happened in and of itself, but then also for it to just be replaying over and over. But for you to deny that happened and then have to backtrack and make an apology, I think it just goes to, some of the credibility from Puff and the lawyers has been damaged by that. And I think also the stance that they've taken in coming out and just, saying that he's absolutely innocent, I still don't agree with that strategy, right? Like, it's way too early on. You as the lawyers, by the time you're coming out and making these sweeping statements, you haven't seen any discovery yet, right? And so everybody has their different approaches and strategies, but like for me, I definitely take a more conservative approach when it comes to the media. We'll just lean on, hey, this case is ongoing and developing. Our client is presumed innocent, and let's just wait and see how it plays out.
It sounds as if P. Diddy has a challenge in this third hearing for his bail. I want to thank you for tapping in.
Hold on, one more question.
Straight Politicking podcast. Go ahead, Munch.
All right, because I heard something over this time he been locked up. Do NDA, do the federal system supersede any NDA you got in place?
That's a good question. So I assume you're talking about like with some of these civil cases and everything, right? Right. So if people have signed agreements not to testify, that's a good question. I'm talking
about not to speak on what's going on inside the homes, or like the chefs or females, they sign NDAs, what's going on in my personal life. So that's no bueno once it comes to the feds.
Well, yeah, I mean, I that's a good question. I don't know if the prosecution will be able to get around that. If they already have legal agreements that are signed, right? There could be some sort of argument that that these people were intimidated into signing these things. So I think like if the NDA were to otherwise be some sort of bar to them testifying, then I could see, just based on the allegations, the prosecution trying to make the argument that these aren't even legitimate non-disclosure agreements because of the manner in which that, their signatures were obtained.
Okay.
All right, man. Jamahl Kersey. I know people can find you at Jamahl Kersey, and your name is spelled JAMAAHL Kersey on Instagram and YouTube. And
that's right.
And people could also tap in on your legal website, Kersey Law. Is that correct? KerseyLaw.com.
It's Kersey Law Office.
I'm sorry. Yeah, KerseyLawOffice.com. Are there any other handles you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I mean, if you just type in Jamahl Kersey, you'll find me. You'll find me at TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and then that website. So I definitely appreciate the love. Thank you for inviting me as always, and holla at me soon, man.
Hey, I was surprised that you tapped in with Spider Loc's music.
I don't know why you surprised, Ali.
Professional legal attorney.
Yeah, man. I make music for all.
Yeah.
Right on, Jamahl.
That was definitely West Coast pride when linking up with 50 and them. I know that however that went down, just know, the hood was loving it, man.
I appreciate you, man. Jeter, man, much love.
All right, we gotta do this again more often. This is only the second time we tapped in. We gotta do this more often.
Absolutely. You know how to find me.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, you too. Peace.
Okay, so, hey, man, they got a trial date for May 5th, 2025. That's only like 5-6 months away.
Puffy ain't waving no time.
Yeah, I was thinking that's strategic.
Yeah, let's go.
Because there's no way you go through 144,000 pages of discovery. You don't go through 50 terabytes of data, videos, and be ready for trial.
When you the U.S. government, you do.
I don't even think the U.S. government got enough time to go through all of this by May 5th, 2025.
Yeah, they said they need more time, man. Puffy team of lawyers said they ready to go.
Yeah, it's strategic.
Yeah, press play type. You know what I'm saying?
And you have a better chance. Well, there's two sides to this. You go to speedy trial, you rush to trial because you get the prosecution on their heels.
Off balance.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that OJ did. When OJ got charged, he was in trial a year later. 1 year later, it was in trial. You know, he got arrested in 94. He was in trial in 95. And I think that was to his benefit. But there's also a flip side to this. If you're willing to be patient and you got no bail, you got to sit in jail.
That's the mind frame for criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that commit crimes, we know what it is.
Yeah, I think the mind frame for people with unlimited resources is we going now.
Go.
For people that don't have unlimited resources, hey, I'm gonna sit in the county for 2, 3, 4 years, and then we're gonna see what it do.
In most cases, a convict that's fighting, like let's say a murder, we go sit there and let the case age because you know witnesses they die, they forget things, laws change, case law could be changed tomorrow, and we go wait for this case to be done because we think this go happen, and then that's how convicts think. He not used to sit in the cell. He want to get this over.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's the way you do it when you got unlimited resources.
Me having unlimited resources, but I'm a convict too. I'm a, you know what I'm saying? You can't rush a lot of things.
Remember, R. Kelly stayed out of jail for a long time the first time before he went to trial.
Yeah.
It was years and years and years.
But man, R. Kelly didn't have the means that Young Thug or Puff got to fight his case.
Oh, R. Kelly didn't go to trial with money?
No, he went broke.
I don't know. I can't
type it
speak
in.
that.
We could like, bro. He didn't had a means that they had, and then they kind of violated R. Kelly a few times. The way they got his, you know, how you communicate through the tablet, how they got his messages, and he got to his girlfriend, and like they violated him a couple times. With a legitimate team, like he had an OJ team of lawyers, he would have had more action. And I don't think, I don't think Puffy, I don't think it's all done for him like people think.
No, I think that there's a lot of weaknesses, but we haven't really seen the complete government's case.
Right.
But can you imagine the videos of the freak-offs, which the government has in their possession? How do you use that as evidence against Diddy? As attorney Jamahl Kersey said, these videos are going to show people having the time of their life.
But see,
they're going to be enjoying it, partying, having fun.
But how do you look at the video and say that's against their will? When all you doing is looking at and somebody throwing it back and they hitting and he playing Coach Puffy and he pointing like, yeah.
But we assuming all that. That's all assumption. What I'm more interested in the fact that they say he had hidden cameras in his house going all the time. So ain't no telling what them cameras done caught. It might be a whole lot of Cassie type of incidents caught on camera.
Yeah, we have
Might
no
have
idea.
been whooping ass all through that house.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, they're going to be very selective of which videos they're going to want to show and which videos we'll never see. But the defense also got a shot at saying, hey, we're going to show these videos, and it's going to be interesting. But yeah, May 5th, there's no possible way that even the defense can be ready. It's just strategic.
But see, y'all saying like the freak off tapes are going to show willing participants. Cool, but remember the charge is he just even flying people to certain locations for certain purposes is part of the charges, and also some of them, even though willing, are alleged to be minors.
Well, that remains to be proven.
But when you say trafficking, that's gonna be a wobbler. That's a wobbler off the rip. That's not like a slam dunk trafficking. And then how you send somebody a ticket and force them to get on the plane from where they at?
No, they saying you do. It's coercion by promise of different things. You gotta listen to how they word it, bro.
Yeah, but see, man, I don't think it's a open and closed case like they think.
All right, I want to ask you guys about flight risk because this is what Diddy is offering. His passports. He's even offering 2 of his houses. And of course, 24/7 monitoring. I'm assuming like ankle monitoring. I believe a person with the resources of Diddy is a flight risk because you can just jump on a private plane and leave. But does it change when he's offering 2 houses? I believe his mom lives in one of them. 2 houses that are worth millions of dollars. Constant monitoring, $50 million bail, and all that access. It sounds like he's willing to just go to trial. He just wants to be free. Is he still a flight risk with all of that being offered is the question.
But he didn't answer my question. Why his kids have to cough up their passport?
Well, I think that was part of the bail that they offered the bail package.
Why though? Well, what his kids got to do with that?
Because let's say, for example, he wants to flee and he wants to take his family with him. Now that's not on the table if he's giving up the passports to everyone in his family.
And then I would say the government don't care about how much money you got. They got unlimited funds anyway. But then he said Young Thug did some similar package, but less money. But his is a state case.
Yeah, but
so I would think the state care more about money than the government. But they both turned it down.
Young Thug had 2 murders on his case, though. There's 2 murders in his in those 180 overt acts. 2 of those are murders. So,
and that's more reason to hold him instead of Diddy.
Yeah, when you have multiple murders, you ain't getting bail. Right. You're not getting bail. Okay. That's considered capital offense, right? So you're not going to get bail when there's anything like capital offense. OJ was looking at double murder, no bail. You already know don't even waste your time trying to get a bail. There's no murders on this case. This is a completely bailable case. So my question is, do you believe does the government, here's the question, let me word it carefully. Does the government still have an argument that Diddy is a flight risk considering everything he's going to offer?
No. If they can see when he's leaving his house and got a monitor on him, no.
Yeah, if he's heading to an airport,
he could break the monitor off,
and then they go come get him.
As soon as that monitor is broken off, I'm assuming the cops will be. I'm moving in, right?
He's gonna put some baby oil on his ankle, slip it off his ankle, and put it on somebody else, and then get away. I mean, and then he offered the surveillance and the security. He's not a flight risk at this point.
Yeah, I think he's offering too much at this point, especially the homes that his family's living in. Is he willing to lose 2 houses if he decides to?
I don't think he care about no houses.
Well, this house is this house is a lot. Is a significant part of his worth. If he's worth $1 billion, and these houses is worth $100 million, that's 10% of his worth right there.
You talking about worth?
Yeah,
freedom, worth freedom. He don't care that house is my man. She can go to a condo, like that. Like, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, put that on the scale.
Well, I don't know,
but I still don't think he's a flight risk at this point.
I think it's a pretty generous offering to show the government you're not a flight risk. But Spider, you think you could just slide that thing off and be out the country?
I think desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
And I think the diddler, I mean, he up against it, bro. Just like he said, he probably don't care about none of the material things. Freedom, he's never had his freedom taken from him. He has access to so much. So when you have access to so much and then your freedom is snatched, I think it's just like, it's just no telling what he would do.
Look,
but from where he at, why they don't think he could tamper with witnesses and intimidate witnesses from where he at? What would be the difference?
They probably they can monitor all his communications far better from behind the walls than on the streets.
Yeah, someone else would have to do it for him.
Even with the visits and just relating the message, go and then boom.
And in the feds, I wouldn't trust nothing in the visit. That thing probably mic'd up with tiny mics everywhere.
Now he just paid off. He has a house that's worth $48 million. He owed 18 on it. He paid that off so that he can now offer this house
50 piece.
Yeah, and he's got 2 houses. So I don't know let's assume both these houses are worth 50. He's willing to offer these houses, and he paid off the one that still had 18 million on the mortgage. So that means you willing to just give up. You willing to give up a lot of your worth for your freedom.
Well, just look what he's up against. We're saying that he's going to start trial, and the option is like the lawyer said, he's looking at to decades in prison. So that can start now, or he can get a break. He want to get out and spend some time. If you might be gone for the rest of your life, you would give up anything to get out, bro.
Man, it's unfair, bro, because it's only a big deal because it's status. You know what I'm saying? If it was me or Spider that had this freak off, it wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would have a bail. I wouldn't be able to afford it, but I'll have a bail.
Yeah, you'll have a bail because they'll know you can't. You won't be. They'll give you a $20 million bail like they did Suge. You ain't getting out. But here we're gonna give you the right. You have the constitutional right to bail. Okay, Suge Knight, we're giving you $25 million bail. Good luck. They knew he wasn't gonna make that bail. What kind of bail can you give Diddy?
Man, but I think I brought this up before, and I think Spider disagreed. It ain't about the money. I think, man, they be looking at these people as trophies. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. But they want the not the conviction. They want the body. That they don't just a deal and a conviction. I think we was talking about Keefe D when we was talking about that. They want him. They don't care about the conviction.
Right. Sometimes, like
Personal.
like with Suge Knight's lawyer, Matt Fletcher, he got indicted, but right at the last minute, he took a deal that prevented him from going to jail.
Oh yeah.
But he lost his law license. So in that situation, you kind of thought, hey, they gonna send Suge Knight's attorney to prison, but they let him be free.
You know why? Because they crippled him. They crippled Suge Knight, and now what you gonna do? And Suge Knight was forced to take the deal he took and go to the penitentiary. You done got caught with all these briberies and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they took down a pretty good lawyer too. I like Matt Fletcher. He was a very if you needed a defense attorney in your corner, he was the one.
Right for you.
Yeah, he was the one, and they got him. But all right, let me move on to another topic here along this Diddy stuff. You asked Jamahl Kersey about that leaked Cassie tape, Spider, and they filed, his defense attorneys filed a motion asking the court to impose some sort of sanctions against the prosecution because that tape was illegally leaked to the public, to CNN, which eventually aired it to the public.
What causes it to be illegally leaked?
Because it's evidence in a upcoming trial, and that evidence shouldn't be given to the public.
But how is it confirmed that the source of the leak is from the prosecution?
Well, the defense attorney wrote up a multi-page memo, and in it says that the only people that had access to this video was the government.
To their knowledge.
Yeah, so they also said they don't believe that the prosecution released it. They believe it was leaked by Homeland Security, the police, the law enforcement agency that was in charge of the raids, leaked it to CNN. Also, they said that CNN never paid for this. If it was one of those things where someone else had possession of it and they wanted to give it to a media outlet, the goal would be to get money off of it, to sell it. It was never sold. So
I can say this. I think Diddy's lawyers at this point are at least making better arguments than the attorney he had prior to this.
It seems like that attorney's still around, bro.
yeah, I saw the same attorney.
Well, he's gotten some. He's doing better.
Right.
Yeah.
He's doing better.
But I heard in an interview with the Roger Bonds, the security guard from the security for Bad Boy from 2003 to 2013, he said that how you say her name, Cassie?
Cassie.
She had a copy of the video also.
Well, we can't go by what just somebody says in an interview.
We can't really go by what the defense says either.
Right. I really go by.
To say something that makes sense that will benefit their client.
Yeah, but the defense has got to file this motion with the court, and they got to also they're doing this under oath.
Man, you sounding like the judge presuming that what they saying is the truth. They saying whatever they got to say to keep them in jail.
Yeah, but at least the prosecutions we know that the prosecution is making allegations about Diddy.
So you think
they haven't proved it?
You think they will ever admit that they leaked the tape?
No. Well, the defense doesn't even believe that the prosecutors from the office leaked the tape. They said it in their hearing that it has to be Homeland Security. It has to be the law enforcement agency that leaked it. Now, did the prosecution have knowledge of it? Who knows? But how the heck does CNN get a video that only the cops had?
He said it was reported that Cassie had a copy.
But he said he not going off of that.
Well,
I mean, but that's his personal decision not to go off of that.
But see,
he decided that as a man that he's going to rule that information out when he makes his judgment. That's his prerogative.
But I'm gonna say why it's credible.
Wait, you believe Cassie had a copy of it, right?
I believe it.
Okay, check this out. When Cassie filed her civil case in 2023, the details of that video or the video itself would have been a part of that lawsuit.
It shouldn't have to even go that far.
If Cassie had that video, that would have been even far more powerful than just her words of abuse. She would have submitted her complaint, and then here's the video with my complaint. But she didn't.
So what do you think caused Diddy to settle so quickly?
Just based off that,
because he knew he was wrong. He knew that there was some guilt. There was truth to Cassie's claims.
How you know Cassie didn't remind him of that videotape at that moment?
Right.
Okay. If Cassie had the video, y'all, that would have been part of her civil case.
But you did not prepare the case, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with Spider.
No, nobody's saying that you're wrong. But you can't make this say that they had to put it in, or the case would only go forward with or without it.
That could have been a part of her strategy. If you ain't coming with the dough quick enough, now look. That could have been a trump card.
That was her strategy. Was first to ask for the dough. Diddy said no. Then she said, "All right, I'm suing you."
And then when she kept the lawsuit,
when she filed the lawsuit, there was nothing of a tape.
No. After she filed the lawsuit, how fast did he settle? Tell me that.
Immediately.
Okay, so if he didn't settle immediately, that's what I'm saying. That's when the tape probably would have came in play.
And I don't even rule out the fact that the only potential copies were
the one he had,
Cassie's and the government. I think there could be potentially other copies.
Well, this came from the hotel.
Yeah.
So if the hotel had multiple copies, that's unknown to any of us. We know that they raided his house in March. CNN is playing the video in May. The defense attorneys are alleging that this video, well, it's not alleging that it was leaked. It was absolutely leaked, and they're saying it was leaked by Homeland Security.
They're alleging it was by Homeland Security.
Yeah.
I believe Cassie got her dough, and then she still gave it to him for free because it's personal.
I believe all that's possible. I don't think I can firmly decide one way or the other. I judge all. I kind of analyze.
If Cassie had this video, she would have got the money from Diddy without even doing the lawsuit. She had to fight to get the money from Diddy. She had to really fight for that.
She probably
if she had that video, she wouldn't have to
she
fight.
She probably didn't have it initially.
No.
Okay, well.
I mean, I just, if you're just going to take what they say, there's so many other things that are possible. Yeah, so many other things that could come in that could actually be the case.
All right, well, I believe that the video became in the possession of the government from the raid, March 2024 raid. And then in May, CNN is playing it.
And I believe it's possible that she could have gave it up. And, of course, his team of lawyers not going to say that, because that'll admit some guilt on his behalf.
Well, I would say that it's impossible.
You gotta.
That Cassie had the video, because if she did, you're saying that if she had the video in 2023 when she filed her lawsuit, and she just kept it without revealing it. You would not have. You would reveal this so you can get the money that you've been fighting for.
She didn't get whooped on it. She didn't get it whooped on in 2023.
She filed her lawsuit last year.
Oh no. I'm talking about when the incident happened. My bad.
She filed it, I think, October, November.
No, I thought you said 2003. I heard you wrong. My bad.
So I think it's impossible.
I understand why you feel that way, but I just don't give everybody that credit to be thinking exactly how you think and how you would prepare the case.
Well,
put your mind state in a woman mind state, bro. Not like you playing poker and you a dude.
Yeah, if she had if as a woman, this video would have been on the internet last year.
No, as a woman, I done got my money out you, and now look, boom, I'm gonna kick you while you down for sure.
I think as a woman, she would have leaked this last year if she had the video.
Shit.
How many women be ready to throw men under the bus in relationship situations?
Well, I believe she still got love for him, and she fighting, she battling with herself.
Possibility too.
Okay.
You know, she been getting her ass whooped for how long, and she stuck around. And even after she got got whooped on that year, she was with him years after that.
Yeah, that was 2016, and she stayed with him till when did she?
18,
When she break up with the dude?
20 or 18.
Yeah.
I don't know when they broke
Yeah, but
up.
that's very common in domestic violence. There's a thing called battered women syndrome, where it's difficult for them to detach from their abuser because they went through their own abuse as a children in their family. So I'm not going to judge any woman for staying with a guy that's been abusing them.
He's saying she still might be fond of him to a certain degree.
I think she still got some type of love for him. You know what I'm saying?
When somebody just keep beating your box up back to back to back, you kind of
I want you to keep in mind
be
that
connected.
That when you came across this girl, she was 19, you was 37. You had this money, this power, this manipulation, and years go on. I think she still might got some love there for him.
Stockholm.
Now my question with the video, the leaked video, what responsibility does CNN have? Because CNN gets the video, they start making calls. They contacted Diddy's camp. They contacted and say, hey, we got this video. They know that once they publish this video, it's going to taint the jury pool. That's what I
wanted to ask him about the jury pool. Yeah.
They know that once they publish this video, you're hurting Diddy's defense. CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And we always accuse individuals for clout chasing and doing this and that just to, to boost their own platforms. But is this the ultimate clout chase where CNN doesn't care about a criminal case? It doesn't care about tampering with a jury. It doesn't care about how this person has to defend themselves. We got the video. The purpose of leaking the video, if you believe the government leaked it, is to hurt Diddy's defense. Now, how many of us would still be supporting Diddy if we never saw that Cassie video? Because that really flipped people's opinions. Once they saw that Cassie video, they was just like, I'm done with Diddy.
Now, I don't doubt Homeland Diddy. I don't just rule out that old girl could have gave it to him too.
Well, you're giving her a lot of credit.
I iterate that I believe there's other potential sources.
Well, the initial report was Diddy acquired the video from the hotel and paid for it
for $50,000
and got it. So that means that either the hotel saved the copy. In order for your theory to be true, the hotel saved a copy and somehow got that copy to Cassie, or Diddy himself made copies and shared it with somebody, which I doubt he did.
But to believe he had it and was dumb enough to keep it.
Yeah, that's the...
So that's what I'm saying. We assuming that things are going to go the logical way. But if you pay for it, why not destroy it?
Hey, Spider.
Who would keep that all these years?
After she got whooped on as bad as she did, she left the premises and came back.
Yeah, we see that a million times.
And she came back and the security told her, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, he already had the tape in his possession.
But why would he have it still to this day for the feds to be able to find it in his house, bro?
We could never wrap our finger around it. The same reason why Keefy D keeping bullets from the 90s.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. But it's no doubt that Homeland Security got this video from his house.
How was that not a doubt?
Because the defense has already conceded that. They're already saying
the defense.
Yeah, the defense. If the defense is conceding it, that means that it's a fact that Homeland Security acquired this video during the raid.
Wait a minute. How?
I think it's better. It's a better look to put it on Homeland than Casey.
Because we've already agreed that they can't even. You stated that they can't even. That's not enough time till May to go through all the footage.
Yeah, but they also have to give the defense a summary of the things that they took.
But you only assuming that was in the summary. You just because they said it came out of there. The defense.
Yeah, but the defense is already acknowledging that this video was in the possession of Diddy in that house.
They're
in their hearing. So they're already conceding, yeah, Diddy had this tape. They're conceding it. So now you have to accept that. It's called both sides have to accept that as fact.
I haven't seen you show me that the prosecution accepted that, admitted that.
No. The defense filed a motion. They want the prosecution to be issued some sort of sanction, some sort of punishment.
That's why they are asserting that it came out of the raid. That doesn't mean the prosecution has agreed to that.
I think it's in their best interest to say it came from the raid.
Exactly. That's why they're saying it, because it's in their best interest, but it doesn't make it a fact.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Cassie came in contact with them people even after getting whooped on is what I'm trying to tell you at the hospital. I mean, not the hospital, the hotel.
Well, then
And had conversations with the security and all that.
you have to explain. Then you'd have to be able to explain how the heck does Cassie get a copy of this video?
She was in when she came back after getting battered, like most females do, and they told her get back in your car and get up out of here because it was hectic. And she had conversations with them.
Unless she took a copy, unless
she had a copy this whole time.
Got it from Diddy house.
Unless she got it from Diddy house. Yeah.
Now, what year was this? The ass whooping?
2016.
So how are we not sure there was not a cloud in place?
Not a what?
Cloud. The cameras, cloud. Because tapes is kind of played out. 16 is not that long ago, bro.
But it's on a DVR.
But it could be also be in the cloud.
I think we use the word tape. We don't really mean tape. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got the tape.
Okay.
Yeah.
So DVR is hardware, though, right?
Yeah. It's on like a 1 terabyte hard drive.
You know how like the Ring shit work?
Yeah.
There's no hardware. But it's saved into virtuality.
It's still saved on a hard drive.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. It's always a hard drive. Like I have hard drives here that are local. The cloud is just a hard drive.
But it's not, of course, but I mean, it's not a physical one you have to have in your hand.
Correct. It's a physical hard drive somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So my idea, 2016, I was thinking if it got caught on camera, it probably is readily available from that virtual hard drive. Like you can go back on the date and get the footage.
yeah, I think it was on a DVR. And if Diddy paid $50,000, he probably
He got played, bro.
He probably took the whole DVR.
We're hoping. You keep giving Diddy so much credit.
He went to Howard, but I don't think
he probably paid for a copy, and there probably was still a master available, bro.
Yeah, it would have came out. It would have came out before 8 years.
I get your logic.
This is 8 years. This was a video from 8 years ago that gets leaked in a month after the raid.
But
come on, man.
But look, bro,
it's timely though.
It's timely. It's back relevant. So the people everyone that may know where to go get that.
So you believe that this video been sitting on wherever person's shelf for 8 years, and now they drop it?
I ain't say person. I think it's between
whether
two.
it's Cassie
or Homeland,
or whoever. No, this is an 8-year-old video that gets dropped a month after the raid, y'all.
I know, and for that reason, you are convinced that's the process. I'm just saying I understand that's why you feel that way, but I also acknowledge that there are other probabilities, brother.
Keep in mind, Cassie got a nigga in her ear too. That was her trainer that he hired for her.
I don't understand.
I just don't always go for the most obvious, because sometimes just the way things line up on surface, and you just take it, and then you're like, oh, and it don't always be that.
Ain't no way on God's green earth that this video would not have been public from 2016 if it existed in any person's hand. You think 8 years nobody's going to want?
Same way you could say that. I would say this if I had known he kept it. Ain't no nigga gonna keep no video that he beat a bitch ass in the hotel and he paid money for it. Ain't no nigga gonna have that sitting around 8 years on God. I would say that, bro.
That's not logical.
It's not logical.
Yeah, but we know that Diddy probably made a lot of mistakes.
But it's the same way you saying, in no way for 8 years it could be kept secret. It's not probable, but it's possible.
All right, man. Let's
facts over feelings, Alex.
Yeah. Let's move on to the hey, Munchie put me onto this song, this P. Diddy song featuring G-Dep called Let's Get It. And we're not gonna play it because we know that copyright.
I think you get 17 seconds or something.
I ain't even going.
Ain't playing with
long.
it.
Yeah, I think it's 5 seconds really.
Oh, okay.
But there's an interesting bar.
2 bars.
2 bars from this song that
spit that shit. Hey, Alex, you got delivery, bro.
Now G-Dep is a brother that just got out of prison, right? Early 2024.
Right.
Don't know when this song was recorded, but it's posted on Diddy's YouTube channel in 2016.
Damn.
But it's obviously way before.
Older than that,
yeah. And when I'm looking at the video, I could tell it's a young Diddy.
Right.
It's like a 1990s Diddy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the skinny Diddy. Remember this?
That was
thinner Diddy.
Yeah, I know what you picturing.
The
I've seen clips of this song since all this been going on social media too.
And I'm just gonna read 2 verses here.
2 bars.
Two bars. I'm sorry. I keep on saying verses. I really forgot the cadence of the song.
Take this money, money. I won't go take this money.
Hey, yo, call me Diddy. I run this city. Send the cops, the feds, and DEA to come get me. Cats want to leave me for dead. You coming with me.
Wow.
Three bars. Hey, yo, I'm going to say it one more time. Hey, yo, call me Diddy. I run this city. Send the cops, the feds, and DEA to come get me. Cats want to leave me for dead. You coming with me.
That's deep.
Don't have an exact year on that, but it's like, I don't know, a premonition. It's like a prophetic. So it kind of ties into what we talked about last week about, is Diddy going to rat? Is he going to tell on people? Are there higher ups? Are there big names linked to whatever?
Okay. You look at the writer credits, you don't see it, but it's been said that 50 wrote that, and 50 is a master manipulator, and he know that he's a snitch. And he got a big. He was capable of being he said, I'm going down. You coming with me? Like 50 Cent, he wrote based coming from him, like writers do.
How can you?
Can we interpret that bar though? Cats want to leave me for dead. You coming with me?
Right.
What does that mean?
Like the support he not getting right now.
Well,
does that mean he's gonna tell? Mm-hmm. He taking that. It sounds like he's taking. If I'm going down, you know the saying. If I'm going down, everybody's going down.
You see what Nino Brown said? The college man, the education. Yeah, him.
I don't understand why you would record and say that, and not, especially if you didn't write it. Somebody like, yeah, this I got. What would make you say that? Did he like?
Because he didn't write it, and somebody made it sound good. You know, you can say some stupid shit to make it sound flawed.
That's how corny he is. Y'all in here.
But he could also say that's not what y'all not interpreting, because you know art is up to can be interpreted multiple ways. That's why I asked the question: does it really mean he's bringing everybody down with him?
I mean, so if you want to get another viewpoint of the phrase, it can mean y'all want to leave me for dead. If I die, you die.
Yeah.
Coming with me. I don't know.
But it's preceded by the line that says, send the cops, the feds, and DA to come get me. Cats want to leave me for dead. That doesn't mean literal dead, right? That means to be taken into custody.
Yeah, of course. What it sounds like to us. But you said art. Yeah, you said it can be interpretation.
Yeah, you threw a bone out there, like, be optimistic.
Because I was going to ask the same question you just said. Why would you even want to rap this verse?
I don't get it.
Or this bar?
Because people laugh in your face and play in your face, and you don't know it.
That's the naivety of someone that would pay $50,000 for a tape, thinking it's the only copy.
Right.
But I actually I thought the song had some pretty decent production on it.
That was a club, like that thing used to kind of bump.
Yeah. So go tap in with that song. G-Dep featuring P. Diddy and Black Rob. Let's Get It is the name of the song.
Oh, Black Rob on there?
Yeah.
I thought the first and the second verse is the same person. Okay, I get it. All
right. So I'll post I'm gonna post the lyrics to that song in the show notes below. Just click on that and you could check out the lyrics on that song right there.
That's just an example of somebody playing in your face. Like, this is like it's the same as, oh, you fly, knowing he not. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, check your shoes out.
Right,
Look at my gangster, knowing he not gangster. Like, oh, he wearing all pink.
Hey, there's just certain bars that you got to say. I ain't gonna say that one. Let's rewrite that one.
Yeah, Biggie said some. He trying to be too lyrical and said some shit I would have never said.
Hey, Ice Cube said some really crazy stuff in the what album was that? I'm not sure if that was America's Most Wanted in 1990 or Lethal Injection like 93, 94, but he said some things that's crazy.
He said some shit, but on a different level of these other cats.
Yeah, completely different thing.
DJ
but
Quick said some cold shit too.
Man, bars ain't that important, bro.
Nah, even Snoop just said something kind of tricky.
But I don't think nobody could top Biggie Smalls what he said.
Nah. You can't. He said one of the worst.
Which one?
They tried to give him a pass, so he was quoting Richard Pryor's show. She looks so good. On her daddy.
A sucker daddy girl.
Yeah.
That ain't cool.
Yeah. You got to change some of these bars.
It's a current nigga right now. It slipped my mind what it is, but he rapping. He say, "This is my nigga. I love him so much. I hold his dick while he piss."
but see. I know you talking about. I can't remember his name, but he's saying hold his pistol while you go take a pee, because you know how you'll take your strap off like, hey, hold this for me, Spider, and go pee.
that's what I'm
but he
saying.
shouldn't. It ain't that important to get a bar
That's
across.
your point. Yeah, exactly. To your
But
point.
when he explained it, I understood it, but
Oh, so it was really he was talking about his thing.
Yeah,
thing.
I figured that the whole time,
I
bro.
don't know how to say it, a double.
Because they be calling them with balls. That's how they talk about the gun. I got it with balls. The balls is the Tommy clip, right?
No, they say monkey nuts. Like,
yeah, all
monkey
that.
nut-
But they call the gun and balls like and shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind saying monkey nuts.
That's a
That
new
don't
one.
sound
That's a
bad.
new one.
I'm not
What, monkey
holding no nuts, bro. They not my own. I don't
Calling
touch
a
them.
gun.
Yeah, I never. They lost me
Is
with that.
that is
No,
Cali
that's a
slang?
southern thing. That's a southern thing. Like, I got my DICK on me. Like, I guess you talking about the
Probably
barrel.
came from
I'm
down
so
south.
glad that's not a
No,
California
that's
thing.
southern, bro. We don't,
Wait. So a gun could be called a dick with balls?
Yes.
No. The strap. You know how it got the little the drum. They
Yeah,
be
but
like,
what's the slang term?
they be like got monkey nuts, like the balls. Like I not heard to say.
Okay, say it in a sentence for me. Say, hey, I'm looking for.
I got a strap with monkey nuts on it, and we're talking about the clip that the strap, the clip under it. It got the little
I'm still confused.
circular thing.
Say dick and balls too.
I ain't never heard D and balls either.
So you can be in the car and you can say, hey, hand me my dick and balls.
I got a strap with
Or
monkey
like,
nut.
I wouldn't think the way I've heard it said, like in lyrics or talking they shit.
But out here we don't use that type of verbiage or you know what I'm saying?
I was actually thinking of doing a video on all the different slangs that we use for the word gun.
But
I don't think I'm gonna put that on there.
in different no,
Yeah.
but they use different shit in different regions.
I
though.
know, but I don't. I think I would leave that one out.
We say strap, blammer,
Strap, blammer.
the thing.
Blower.
The new one is
Heater.
the blick.
Blick.
Yeah, Blake.
Yeah, when in the '80s, I remember when I was in middle school, it was GAT, G-A-T.
Yep.
You got
Still might hear gat.
I ain't heard nobody say GAT in
You
a
gotta-
decade or so.
You got to be somebody from back in our time.
It was also used as a verb. Gat him, gat him, cuz.
Got him down.
Gat him down. Yeah, it was a verb too.
But gat could still be used and it ain't frowned upon. You feel me? Like oh, you old and corny.
But gat is actually
What word is old and corny for a gun?
None of them. That come from our region.
Yeah, everything.
Like, you got your hammer.
Yeah, whatever.
You got your thing. You got
Strap.
your strap.
Yeah, I got a nice list.
Heater.
Peace.
A piece is
Burner.
old school.
Yeah.
My dad used to say.
You really don't hear peace though. You
Yeah,
might
you don't. I think peace is played out.
Guess what I say on a regular basis? I say
of
right
what?
on. So a lot of my verbiage come from my daddy generation.
Yeah.
I think peace the only one you'd be like, okay,
That's all.
yeah, that's kind of old.
Right on and you dig.
You did. I say you digitalize. I flipped it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's where that comes from.
Yep. That's where it come from.
You saying you digitalize or do you digitize?
Digitalize.
Digitalize.
Yeah. I think I rhymed it with digitize. No, I didn't. I rhymed it with something else. But I say digitalize. That's my phrase.
Okay, yeah. So that you dig and what was the other
Right
one?
on.
Right on. Yeah, that's definitely 70s.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's saying peace for gun anymore.
No,
Nah, not on no regular
your
I
basis.
think that got buried.
You got your piece on you?
But maybe if you watch a urban show that's trying to be black.
Yeah, but I might still do that video, but I'm gonna leave leaving that off.
But that's not our lingo though.
No, it wasn't about our
who I-
lingo.
you
in
know
general.
who I've heard use that exact phrase? Mozzie. It's just 40 like with dick and balls and it's against the law. That's who I heard use that exact.
Mozzie, he my generation of a wordsmith.
But that
So
with the-
he played with all that.
yeah, and that's that. Yeah, but I'm saying that's where I heard that exact phrase. It just came to me.
All right, I wanted to move on to our final topic. This is something that I haven't really had a chance to tap in, but the Menlo dudes, I guess, did a video, and they're from 6'5". They're heavily linked with the 6'7"
Right.
neighborhood Crips. They're 6'5" Menlo, and I guess in recent years, it's been several years, they've been claiming 70th Street. Apparently, one of these guys in the video said rolling 70s, and I don't know, it just created a whole avalanche of reactions that I'm not really sure why is that so funny or weird or unusual to have this huge response to.
From my opinion, and from that, it turned me off of hood vlogs, and I'm gonna talk to some of my other homies so we can implement we're not doing no hood vlogs, bro. Like if you an artist, they following you and you talking about like that's something different, because that was like kind of comical and embarrassing, and then like and it seemed like a commercial trying to introduce a new fraction of your hood because they kept emphasizing y'all keep asking what rolling 70s is or what 70 like you trying to put extras on it. It just looked at.
So you didn't like the delivery of the way of whoever was talking.
It looked at comical. It looked at living color. And then it was dudes that was in a different age bracket mixed with this younger age bracket that shouldn't have been doing things and carrying on how they was carrying on
Now this
in
was
the video.
this was a hood vlog that had one guy talking, but a whole bunch of people in the background, right?
It was a lot of dudes talking, but one primarily. And then I just think it became comical to a lot of people, and there's a lot of reactions to it. I don't want to disrespect none of them, you know what I'm saying? But I just know off of that, I don't want none of my homies doing no hood vlogs.
Okay, now I want to get your reaction, Spider, but
right.
real quick, I want to just say that I don't like the modern version of doing hood vlogs, and what I mean by that is you have a lot of these platforms. They want you to bring out the whole hood. They want you to be deep. They want to walk around, and I feel like when you set up your content in that manner, it lends itself to be, as you said, Munchie, comical, or it's unnatural. Because in reality, if you pulled up on the block, that liquor store in Menlo Hood, there's not going to be 30 guys standing there. So when I do, I don't even call them what I do hood vlogs, but when I go out in the field and do interviews, I have it as natural as possible. I want one guy, two guys, three guys at the most. No, please, I don't need you to call out 10 people. I don't need you to call out 20 people, because what I end up doing now, if I did that, I'm presenting to the world an unnatural faction of gang life. The only time that there's going to be 30 people deep is if it's a funeral or hood day or a meeting or something. Now, you're not just going to be on the block 30 deep.
Not necessarily, because the first time you interviewed me, I had Red Bull and Baby Doll with me.
Yeah.
But then when you came to my park, I mean, it was just homies pulling up. I
Yeah.
don't know how many was up there, but that was off camera, off to the side. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we could be deep on any given random day or whatever.
Yeah, but if I pulled up at the park, if I took 10 random days and I went to the park on these 10 random days, I'm not going to see 20 or 30 people there from IFG.
10 random days. It depends on what time of the day you go, and then probably not 30.
Might
Not
want to kill
30.
game, bro.
What's
Why?
that?
Why?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying nothing to expose nothing. And
Yeah, but my whole point is that these hood vlogs are
Doing it for the
misleading.
cameras.
It's for the cameras,
All right.
and it's very misleading to the general public who are watching them from, internationally. They're out the country, they're out the state, and they're watching this thinking, oh, that's how LA gang life is. And we all know that a lot of these hoods like Menlo. Now IFG is different; it's a big hood, but a lot of these hoods like Menlo, 6-7, 9-7 East Coast, they ain't gonna have 30 dudes on the block, But what was your reaction to that whole to the
Shout
vlog?
out to Infant Craze. That was the start of the actual vlog.
Yeah, and you just actually
Menlo.
had him on
Yeah.
on the platform.
Interviewed him yesterday, and the conversation went a lot of different angles. He spoke on this, and I believe he has stated, and I don't want to misquote him, I think one of his homies had just shot a music video, and I think this was an overflow energy, or they was doing something. He has a couple artists that he shouted out that were. So the whole cameras being over there initially was, I think, for a whole nother reason, whole nother purpose. His reason for wanting to clarify, shout out Big Shane too, because I talked to his G homie. He on the 4-yard. He trying to get back, but he talked to me too before he went. And like y'all say, I think they just wanted some clarification as to no, this is what he expressed personally. He said he just basically wanted to platform they hood and get them on the map. More so. They not spoke of when the outsiders mentioned LA scene, and they feel like everybody else is on camera getting light brought to their section, and they just felt like they was trying to shed some light on their section.
that is exactly what it sounded like to me. What you just said, the last part. You know what I'm saying? And but what stood out to me, because he had reacted to it, and the dude Craze was a part of this peace talk, but then he got on camera and said he ain't with the peace.
That wasn't him. I don't think. It was somebody in the video.
So that wasn't Craze in particular.
No, that was one of his homies. But I asked him about that.
Okay.
And he said, this is what he means. He like, just don't bother us, and we won't bother you.
Long as he wasn't the one saying that, so I
he
stand
didn't say
corrected.
that. Yeah, that was one of his little homies.
I was going off a reaction. Okay.
But I asked him about that in particular, and because I was under the impression he was coming to like, kind of like, debunk that we ain't with the peace. And he was like, he didn't really debunk it and say we ain't with the peace. He said though, we not on offense, basically.
So what was the reason for so many reactions to this video in the first place?
Because the rolling car has been established for years, and just the phrase 70s is new to a lot, to most, to almost all. So I think that's just was the main, thing that got everybody's attention.
Man, hey, shout out Punch from Menlo, shout out Tiny Country. Those are my two boys from over there. But yeah, I never heard of Rolling 70s in my life. I know 6'7" neighborhood, and I know 6'5" Menlo.
They blame 7-0 Menlo too. So they got a little.
Yeah, because they have a big park over there, and the park is actually on 70th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but like you said, he wanted to shed some light and give his hood some recognition. But you don't get your recognition on camera, bro.
Now, I'm more interested in their history on how they're basically their neighborhoods now.
Yeah, he said they was never part of the gangster core. He said they G homies just was gangsters, hard niggas. It just sounded like, but they ain't never been part of the movement, especially not the swoop and moving and grooving. He mentioned that. But yeah, he explained that they was gangsters, but they wasn't like gangster Crips. Like
Correct.
Look, Alex. Everything that got gangster at the end of it ain't gangster.
Correct.
But they chose to just like kind of disown the gangster thing because of what it come with. You know what I'm saying? Because you got butt-long gangsters that still say butt-long gangsters, but they rolling hundreds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everything that's gangsters, it don't mean that they gangsters moving or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people don't know that. They would think that the Budlong Gangster Crips would be moving, but they not. They neighborhoods and they hundreds.
Right. So like, but. And then when you say soul moving and grooving, y'all know how I feel about that Spider. But when the Menlos was saying Menlo gangsters, it wasn't even a thing talking about soul moving and grooving back then.
No, but it's an interesting history because they did go through some name changes. They started off as Menlo Boys.
Oh, those hustlers.
Then they were Menlo Gangsters.
Okay.
But then when the whole gangster moving thing started, they just became Menlo Crip. Now they're kind of transitioning into, they're still Menlo Crip, but some throw the neighborhood on it because of the 6'7s.
People be too literal. You got 11 Trey Block Crip, but they beef with Treys. You know what I mean? You got Butt-Long Gangsters, but they rolling hundreds. You know what I mean? But it's only the Crips that is really particular with that because you got neighborhood families on the east side. That N-word don't offend Bloods when you say the N-word around neighborhood 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like Inglewood families got rolling 80s. Like it was rolling 80s before it was a rolling 40s. So like Bloods, we don't be super particular with that. But the Crip thing is kind of, you know what I'm saying?
I think that there should be, I know this is probably asking for too much, but there should be some uniformity to right? Because I'm a very organized person. I'm a very organized person. So I would think that, like the Budlong Gangster Crips, hey, y'all rolling hundreds, y'all neighborhoods, let's clear the confusion and maybe change y'all name.
No, I respect it.
But it's deep.
This what they big homies name the turf, and this what it is. But we don't rock them dudes over there. Y'all still why we got to change our first name?
But Gangster Crip is sort of a brand in LA gangbang.
Now.
Yeah, now.
It became a thing when the A-Trays in the 60s made a fraction.
Yeah, I guess in the beginning people weren't thinking about that, and all these cars formed.
Evolved.
They evolved, and some names didn't. They just don't make sense for certain cars.
It's like all the Menlos don't even bang neighborhood.
Yeah, the
older niggas.
Yeah, the older ones
They
don't.
ain't go with
I'm
that.
gonna give you an example. 211 criminals. So now, quite naturally, y'all go rock with the Hoovers. Y'all go to jail because of the criminal name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But initially, when y'all hood was thought of, y'all wasn't even thinking about Hoovers.
Right.
Like, so it started off as a name thing, and then it turned into something else.
Yeah, there's a few sets like that are a little. You know what I always tripped off? The 2 time sets never really kind of blew up, right? Like Gear Gang are 2 times.
Oh yeah,
you familiar with this? Like,
yeah, I remember 2 times. They were trying to like the trades, but they
Yeah.
were 2 times.
But the 2-time thing, they kind of more with the neighborhoods. You know, the West Boulevards and Gears, they put the 40s real heavy, and the West Boulevards. To me, they neighborhoods. I got KK, but that's my boy. And
And I was talking to my homie Baby Jinx yesterday, cuz, and realized I've been around KK and Rockstar before, cuz. Then I was cleaning up my Instagram, and I seen a picture of me. I posted a picture of me and Rockstar before together. I didn't even know I knew this or met him before, bro.
He didn't remember either, evidently.
I guess not. I'm sure he had to remember, bro. I don't know. That's why I'm really confused at why he took the positions he took. But yeah, we was somewhere at a venue. It looked like in Arizona. We took a picture, and I posted it on my page.
That ain't surprising. You say Arizona.
Yeah, it was AZ.
Yeah.
all right, well, I got a nice interview coming out with, is it Tiny Craze? Infant Craze from Menlo. We gonna just get into like the history.
You on location? You going over there, huh?
Of course.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's kind of like
Criteria.
it's more of a outdoor type thing.
Right.
And if he gets, I think I was watching Rick Rock where Rick Rock was suggesting, hey, y'all should start a platform, or Infant Craze should start a platform and get his thing going if that's what he wants to do. And you never know who's going to buzz and who's
He's
gonna
very
pop.
articulate. Like
Yeah.
the gorilla shit that was on that video. He know how to turn that off and on. So he know how to sit down and talk like a gentleman and as well.
I like the way he was. You and ODM Slim had him on there just for a short period, but you also have another interview with him that hasn't dropped yet, right?
Yeah, we did an interview at pre-recorded, but he also was on live with me and ODM a little later.
All right, man. So let's wrap this up, man. Another episode of Straight Politicking. We're going to call this the Diddy episode. Hey, we're going to be talking about Diddy because this is, I love talking about these legal things, man.
This called the Diddy Sold.
The Diddy Sold.
The Diddy Sold.
Hey, real quick, before we wrap up, man, if we go by what Attorney Jamahl Kersey said, it's going to be it's an uphill battle for him to get this bail in this third hearing. What do y'all think is going to happen? Yay or nay for bail?
I'm going to go nay.
I don't know what to say, honestly. I don't know.
I got to stick to yay.
I want to say yeah, but I'm listening to him because he's the expert. But
Yeah.
But then he said it ain't like they entering no new. You know what I'm saying?
They're just going to go over the two previous
Right.
decisions and see if there was any mistakes made.
Right.
And I always want to say, you cannot violate a man's constitutional rights. There's no proof he's intimidating witnesses.
Right.
And he's offered up probably the most complete bail package in the history of American jurisprudence.
Right.
I have never heard of nothing bigger than that to offer.
And there's also the allegation that since he was raided, he has not stopped the activities that they were interested in him having.
Yeah, well, I don't think
Yeah, that's lifestyle.
This
like
But
lifestyle
you remember
type.
the lifestyle is alleged to have illegal elements like slipping narcotics on people without them being aware, things of that nature. He was still flying people to him, which falls under the charges as well.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know this gonna go on forever. We
Yeah,
keep
but
talking about
this appeals judge is not going to be dealing with all of these allegations. It's only going to deal with what happened in bail hearing 1
and 2.
and bail hearing 2.
Now, what you make it sound like that, I'll go double nay.
Double nay, yeah. Because both the magistrate judge and the district judge said no bail for you, Diddy. But shoot, I'm gonna go yay. You say nay, yay, and Munch, you just
Hung jury.
hung jury on Munch.
One more thing before we go,
Yeah.
and I want y'all predictions. When they say higher profile than Diddy, I want a guess from each person who you think it may be.
We talking about female or male?
I thought about this
I'm
already.
gonna leave
thought about it
I'm gonna
too.
leave it open to you. I'm gonna leave it open to you, whoever you want to
I'm
pick.
gonna say a Kardashian.
I'm gonna say Rihanna
Obama.
because she's a billionaire at this
Wait,
point.
you said Obama?
Yeah,
No,
Which-
Rihanna.
that's what I said. Obama.
Obama. No.
Obama who?
Spider said Obama. So you saying the
That was for
Obamas?
jokes. No, that was for jokes. That was
No,
for jokes.
but no. There, I mean, I'm just going shooting high, bro.
Okay, but why would you pick the Obamas when they have no track history?
He said Obama.
Obama, sir, Mister.
Don't do Michelle.
Oh, so you just saying Barack?
Yeah, that's just because there's a few.
It doesn't matter which Obama you pick.
There's a few clips of them. Just got I seen. People are digging shit up.
Yeah, but they have no history of
I don't.
anything of the sort.
I wasn't trying to validate my pick, bro. Right now, I just want to throw it out.
I say Rihanna.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with a Kardashian. One of the three. I'll even pick. What's the tall one's name? Chloe. And Kim, and the short one is, what's her name?
I think
Courtney.
You know what? I would not be shocked at them at all, bro.
I think
not a shocker to me.
I think it's one of the Kardashians.
Okay.
So we got the Kardashians, Obama, and Rihanna.
Because you said high profile, that's the only reason why I'm going
higher
profile,
higher than him, and she's a billionaire.
Yeah, so Rihanna definitely will fit the higher profile category for sure. Obama does, and definitely the Kardashians.
And I want you to keep in mind when she allegedly or maybe did this act, but that maybe became before she was a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? But now she's higher. You know what I'm saying?
Higher profile now.
So I say her right there.
I'm not sure the attorney that made that statement views Rihanna as a higher profile than Diddy. I think he might view Rihanna and Diddy on the same level.
Yeah, well, we're going to conclude this episode of Straight Politicking. We want to thank everybody for tapping in, and we out.